Yo, 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 what up? What is up, guys? How are you this morning? Sorry, I just had a hiccup there in the middle of the hellos. How's everybody doing? Sorry. Welcome to Wednesday. It is FOMC funds rate day today on the dollar. It's going to be an interesting day later. But first, a disclaimer. Right. Like I said, good morning, everybody. My name's Richard Butler, live here for Apex Brotherhood Trading London session, 8 a.m. UK time. Oh, I don't know what's going on, guys. I had heartburn last night and this morning as well. Just I don't know, a little bit of indigestion, it would seem. Thought I was gonna sneeze. weird morning for me. Let me put up a screen share and then we can have a little chatty chat today. So yesterday happened. I was trading on the in a trading competition with the fivers yesterday afternoon, and in the middle of the trading, we had a power failure, and that absolutely threw me. And I feel like I lost my head, like within that trading competition, and I felt absolutely lost. I had no idea where I was. I had a plan, and that plan just flew out of the window the moment the power tripped and the moment the competition really started. And then from there on, I wasn't in it. I wasn't in it at all. So yeah, I lost that competition, rightly so. The better trader obviously won on the day, which was Samir. So good luck to him going further into the competition. But yeah, very much out of my comfort zone. I don't generally trade the 1 minute. Well, I don't ever trade the 1 minute. And news, I don't trade during news. And I happen to have both of those things at the same time. Trading the 1 minute because you've only got an hour. So you need to really be on the lower time frames to see any potential entry points. But in hindsight, what I should have done was stick to what I knew, what I was comfortable with, which is the 5 minute and the 15 minute. But yeah, that hindsight trading is the easiest thing to do on earth, obviously. Let's get some music going, first of all. Let's. I see there's a new background one here called Apex Brotherhood. So let's hear what this is like. I'm gonna put a little bit louder just so that I can hear it. Whoa. All right, interesting. All right, I'll put that on about 15. Let me know in the comments whether or not the music is too loud, because yesterday Will mentioned that the music was a little bit overwhelming. All right, so let's have a look at what do we see today. So first of all, let's have a look at the calendar. This morning at 7 a.m. UK time, we had CPI on the pound, which was as expected. And if you have a look at the pound itself, this was the 8 o'clock news. It did not have much of an impact, all that much. This is obviously the 15 minute. If you go down to the hourly, it had a nice wick above, a nice wick below, and then it seems as though it wants to go down. But we have been moving a little bit downward this whole time, so it's just a continuation of the downward move that was initiated in Tokyo. So in all honesty, we will most probably push a little bit lower on the pound. I am interested to see whether or not we're actually going to break lower than this area down here, which we're very close to. But I'm more interested to see if we're going to break through it. It was the Tokyo high of yesterday we had a multiple bounces. Let's say. So if I just condense this a little bit and pull it through. Actually, what I should be doing is I should be doing this. This makes things a little bit easier to see. So on pound yesterday, we had this initiation of the upward move. We had some consolidation at the start of the day, which is normal. It happens sometimes during Tokyo, the beginnings of Tokyo at least. So we had some consolidation. We had the break coming out of that consolidation, and we started going higher within Tokyo, and then eventually we created a new little area of consolidation and a new break. So this break was the break off the Tokyo high. We tested Tokyo high again, we pushed off of it, we tested it yet again, pushed off, tested a third time, a small little push up, you can call this a fourth test. It moved up yet again, and then it just winded coming down yet again for a fifth test, pushed up, and then the news happened for a sixth test after a break. So in my mind, this area is quite the point of interest. It really seems as though price struggled to even remotely come back to this area down here, which makes sense because we had a little bit of dollar weakness. Pound was taking that weakness and just running a little bit with it, with the expectancy that the news of yesterday was probably going to be a little bit negative. And the news didn't end up being negative for the dollar. It actually came out slightly better in the sense that core retail sales picked up, which usually is an indication that there's more activity in the market purely from a consumer's point of view. And anyway, so we had these multiple tests, and then that is the wrong tool. We kept on moving up. We made the new high of yesterday. We pushed down, came back up again, came down, came up, came down, and then we slowly but surely dwindled down during the last portion of New York. And then during the day open, there was an attempt to go a little bit up, which it failed over here, and then a very strong push down back to New York low, which is in this area over here. News came out. We've been moving in this area for a few hours, let's say, consolidating. News tried to push it higher, very big wick, and then now we have a downward structure. So I am looking for price to come down into this boxed area over here, which we know is an area of support. It is an area where it's bounded off of multiple times yesterday, and I want to see the reaction on this specific area. I would love to see a little bit of a retracement, preferably again closer to this downward trend that we have. Actually, maybe I should go and pull a slight downward trend for us just to see whether or not we are okay. This is a very, very downward trend. Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, this is very sharp. Let's see what the trend looks like from the whole of Tokyo. That looks a little bit better. So that's on the 15-minute. So the idea would be I would want to see a break lower, an attempt to push back into this area, and then a continuation down to this support level. And then from this support level, I would love to see it just react off of it and start pushing up again. I would like to see a strong push back above at least the news section. But what I want and what the market's going to do is going to be two completely different things. So I'm a reactive. I'm a reactive trader. I don't really care all that much about where the price may be going. As an example, I look at the price and I think I do believe that it can go down, and then I will decide to enter a trade, and then hopefully my take profit is within an area where price has recently tested. So I like testing or like trading from an area where it's broken through a significant level, and in this case, this to me is a point of interest. It is quite the point of interest. So begs to be seen what is going to happen on pound. I do think that we can come and test it, but my question is, are we going to break through it? Yeah. Anyway, let me have a quick check with chat and see who is in this morning. First up, as always, we have MGN Bro. Good morning. Hope you slept well. Hope you are well. Morning, Hans Gunther, Butler, and chat. Yes, for those who don't know, I have changed my YouTube and Google name due to the behest of Puli. I am now Hans Gunther, which is an alter ego of myself, 2 alter egos of myself, both German. So one is a straight person, and the other one is a gay person, and I enact, I role play both. Puli, spot on, mate. Are we referring to the music volume? Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what you're talking about. Spot on, but if it's for the music, then great. Davies Brothers. So who have we got live today? We have me. I am live. It is I. Rich, Gunther, or Hans. I'm not that jovial today that it's going to be Hans. It will most probably be Rich for now, and then at some point I might be Gunther. But it's going to depend on whether or not you guys are going to be chatting with me and engaging. If nobody's engaging, then Gunther is going to stay in his little box. But I don't think we're going to see Hans today. Hans is usually, if I've, had a few, then he's all over the place. MGN saying the music is perfect at this level. Could not hear it at all after turning it down yesterday. All right, so you can hear it now, currently. That's good. I can hear it a little bit, but I don't want it interfering with the microphones because I have speakers on. Davies Brothers, good morning, you awesome people. Good morning, Mr. William. I hope you're enjoying your holiday. Yesterday, it did look like you were really enjoying it, streaming from your hotel room right next to the river. And then we all got a sneak peek of Cece every now and then, so it's nice to see that she's there to support you. So that was awesome. And then also thank you for joining in on the stream this morning. Personally, if I was on holiday, you won't see my face. But yeah, thanks for being here this morning, Will. We appreciate you. Well, this is new music. It has to be Hans. No, technically, this is the Apex Brotherhood music one. I'm pretty sure Will is very happy with the sound because it is something that he put on here. So obviously, if it's on here, he wants it to be played. I'm doing. You seem happy, William. Already your birthday. Have we had your birthday breakfast this morning? I'm pulling a Will on myself, having like verbal jump rope issues, like stumbling over my own words. You seem happy, William. Already had your breakfast, have we? We know that William is a thriving young man, and thriving young men do need their sustenance. So hope your breakfast was good this morning. Obviously, we all know what this is about. Nah, she's still catching Z's. Late dinner, was it, William? Can't wait to be back live Monday. So, your holiday, your working holiday, is coming to an end on Sunday, I'm assuming. So, do enjoy the rest of the week. Have your like your R&R, your rest and relaxation, feet up, cigar in hand, and then a wine or a whiskey, whichever you prefer. You're in France, so winelands. Have champagne. Go to the Valley of Champagne and have champagne. Do that as well, and then come back refreshed for Monday for an interesting new week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Yes, please, guys. A like, a subscribe, a share. If you've got a notification bell, hit that one if you want those annoying emails. But show us some love, show us some support, and yeah, let's get this channel growing, like really growing. Reactory, yeah, something like that. Like, I don't know. Some days my brain doesn't brain very well, and I know what I want to say, but the brain's like, yeah, we're whatever. People will understand. You know what I want to say. At least it's not only me that has cock-ups. That is true. Like, I don't know, the last few mornings, I feel like I've slept well, but my brain is not waking up the way that I would like it to wake up. And when it's up, I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, 5 o'clock like South African time, so that's 4 o'clock UK time, and I was wide awake. Like, I could go run a marathon. I was that awake. The problem is, 2 hours later, I'm sitting in front of the PC, I'm busy setting up some stuff, and I'm like, my brain starts becoming like mush, and I lose all of my energy. I have coffee. This is my second cup of coffee for today already, and it doth not seem to help. So, strange day. Pooley, Alex did say she misses Hans. That is true. She does miss Hans. Maybe this coming weekend we'll have an opportunity for Hans to come out of his closet. Yeah. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Gotta support my team. Obviously, you're one of our biggest supporters, which goes without saying. You know whom I haven't seen in chat recently is Ewan. Like, what the hell, Ewan? Where the hell are you? Like, drop a comment. Like, I know you're busy, but like, just jump in, drop a comment, and then you can go about your merry way again. Obviously, laughing. Midnight munchies. Yeah, that's usually what happens when you're in a very romantic place like France. Midnight munchies. Breakfast as well. I'm wine tasting this afternoon. Oh my god. I think Will is going to have the biggest of headaches tomorrow, because that's the problem with tastings. Whiskey tastings, wine tastings, brandy tastings, is that technically you're supposed to taste and then spit out and then have it with your meal, like little sips here and there. But the problem with the tasting is that you taste it and like, oh yeah, this is great, swallow, and then before you wipe the crap out of your eyes, you've had several whiskeys and several brandies or several glasses of wine, and you're slurring a little bit, or you're hanging a little bit to one side, and it just sneaks up on you. Just so yeah, like, enjoy your wine tasting, but be very careful that you don't spit it out like every now and then, like, or have like a glass of water in between. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very long night for Will. Unfortunately, won't be live with the fivers today. That's all good. You have your wine tasting to do, so just make sure that you've notified Jonathan. Otherwise, he won't know you're on holiday, which is strange because we said it so many times that you're on holiday, and he still doesn't get it, which is funny. Yep. Thank you, wifey, for being in here. I appreciate your presence. Morning, Mrs. Hans Gunther Butler. Ewan's probably catching Z's with his missus. Oh, catching Z's. Is he also having a late breakfast or an early breakfast? Whichever. But all right. Well, whenever he does show up, He'll probably be in a good mood. And then obviously Alex, good morning, the better half. That is true. She is definitely the better half. She did not lose a trading competition yesterday, so she is the better version of me. And then good morning to everybody. And that's it. That's everybody in chat this morning. We have a few people in. I feel like the regulars are in. So, yes. Is there anything that you guys would like to... Yeah, I lost. So what happened was, when the competition started, I had a power failure at home. So the power went out. I was in a trade. I was in a gold cell. And when I came back, or when the power came back, that cell was no longer... Yeah, when you left, yeah. When you left, yeah. So the cell itself closed when I came back. So I don't know why that happened. And when I came back, I was flustered. I was annoyed. The power was off. Came back. The trade was no longer in. So I was annoyed. Like my plan and everything just went out of the window completely. And then, yeah, I tried another trade, and then unfortunately that trade went against me. And yeah, then I hit daily stop limit, which was 3%. So Samir won. Samir took a sell just before the news on gold, and he made like $100 and something profit, and then he stayed there. He was like, that's all he wanted, and then he left me to destroy myself. So it happens. It is one of those things. But I was talking to the guys in Discord yesterday, or just mentioning at least, and Pooley was being the supportive asshole that he always is. He was being an asshole at first, but then it was actually like support. So he had some nice comments regarding, lasting longer, ice cream, and all of that kind of like stuff. But he had like a real, like, let's call it a genuine nice Pooley moment, where he told me, or where I said that I probably have some gaps in my lower time frame analysis, let's say 1 minute, because it's not an area that I'm very comfortable with, and I'm also not a news trader, so also another uncomfortability area, something that I can look at. And I mentioned that maybe I should have a look at my lower time frame analysis, and Pooley just said, nah, don't waste your time, focus on what it is that you know. And I took that information, well, that nice sentiment, and I'm running with it. Like, screw the 1 minute, screw trading news. I am going to just stick to what it is that I know and what I do best, and that is the 5 and the 15 with my rally-based rallies, drop-based drops. That is what I'm going to do. So it is what it is. I lost. It would have been amazing if all of the old LLTF guys ended up going to the next round, but I lost fair and square. Can maybe say that the universe didn't want me to win by cutting the power in the middle of the trading competition. So I have no control over that. So I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah. Tragic, man. Yep. Dude, it was tragic. Thanks, dude. The wife referring to me as dude. It was tragic. Oh, no. You're saying dude to Will. It was tragic. And I get it. You're supposed to be like, my lovely, gorgeous, no, not gorgeous, handsome husband. It was the most tragic of tragedies that befell ye yesterday. Yeah, that was tragic. It is annoying, unlucky, bro. It happens. It's one of those things. If you live in a country that, like South Africa, that has as many electricity issues as we do, then it's bound to happen from time to time. Yeah, laugh at the loser. Anyway, guys, if there's anything that you guys want to have a look at, or even just a discussion today, we can have any sort of discussion that you guys want. I am waiting for the reaction on Pound. I would have loved to have been in already on Pound, but I'm being patient. There was news, obviously, for CPI, so I'm just gonna wait for price to just move, and then I will. Whoa! Look at this! Look at Euro. I had a base here, and it's just wicked into it. Let's see whether or not it can break through. And then I have a 15-minute base just below that one. I'm just going to go to the 15 minutes so you can see it. So obviously rally, base, and then a rally. This is the base that I then line out. I would think that price would try to come back to test it and then move away. That's what I would like to see. And then obviously this area up over here, we had the high of London. It attempted to push down. It made a new rally indication, and then a strong movement out from it. So this is also another base. It is technically also a 15-minute base. So from this 15-minute base, we moved out very strongly. We then made the high of the day. We consolidated a little bit, not quite sure where we wanted to go during Tokyo. Tokyo consolidated again, and then news came out, which was as expected on CPI for pound, and now we're seeing a bit of a push down lower. So I would like to see whether or not we can actually either push through, retest, and continue down to this base section down here, or alternatively, what we can look for is a wick on this 15. There's 3 minutes left on the 15-minute candle, so a nice wick, and then a rejection, another attempt, and then a continuation up. I'm inclined to look more towards the bearish movements rather than the bullish, but either one of the two can come to fruition. I just think that we're a little bit more bearish on the day so far, and we have these areas that we can go and test. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I see there's some action. Got to get up, wake her up, get ready to drive down to the next location. Nothing before my breakfast, of course. Cool. The universe knew that he would be too powerful if he was good-looking, intelligent, and skillful. So he just quickly pulled the plug for a few seconds. That is very true. You know, if you have rugged good looks, genius-level intelligence, and godlike trading abilities, sometimes the universe just needs to, I don't know, bring that ego to bear. You know, that kind of like thing. Have a great day. Will, enjoy. Will, have a good one. Drive safe. Be safe and enjoy. And then hopefully, like, I don't know what is like the France version of Uber, whether or not they have just like taxis or Bolt or whatever, but rather take that to your wine tasting than you driving yourself. Let's not read about you in the papers, mate. See you all in the Discord throughout the day. Awesome. You left with a like, I hope so. Cheers, man. And subscribe. Thanks, Will. Like I said, good luck. Not good luck. Enjoy and be safe. Have you ever back-tested or traded indices, Rich? The shortest answer is no and no. The reason is I've always looked at currencies in its entirety. That's the only thing that I've ever looked at, really. I've never looked at indices. And I think I've wanted to have a look at indices at one point, but I kind of decided I'm only going to focus on one or two things until, you know, I feel very comfortable with it, and then I'll start branching out further away from that like baseline. But I do want to start focusing on indices as well. I do have all of the currencies. And then a bunch of indices as well on MetaTrader. Not on MetaTrader, on TradingView. But there's only a handful of ones that I can trade with my personal broker or with the funded ones. So, like DXY, the Dixie obviously is one that's always there. NAS is there, S&P 500. We have DAX, and then the US 30. So there's a few, like I know that MGN trades or has been testing US Tech, which I don't have access to. So if you have time, please have a look to see if your strategy fits the price action. That is something that I think I can sit down and I can have a look at. you never know. Maybe I can sit down with you one day, because I know that you are trading indices, and I also know that there's a few other people in the Discord that also trades indices. So maybe we can sit down and we can have a little bit of a discussion and see how indices normally flows. What is some takeaway points that you guys have when it comes to indices, things that you have noticed? And then, yeah, then maybe I can eventually go over to indices in some, or at least expand my portfolio to the point where I include indices as well. I do see that we do get some. Okay, so this is US 30. So obviously, if I just look at the same idea of price action, we have this area here that is a little bit of consolidation. This is on the 15-minute. And then we have what looks like an attempted break on this candle, and then a base, and then another drop, a base, and then another drop. But then where it's followed up by a whole sequence of consolidation again before a potential move up. So a break, a base, a continuation. So I can have a look and see whether or not there's a way for me to maybe not necessarily trade my strategy specifically, but more of a break and retest strategy. I think that could be interesting as well. So yeah, generally it seems as though it has decent movements on the US 30. Obviously the news here has a massive week, and then the news that we had on Monday as well. There's some massive movements during New York session, it would seem. Seems like London is more passive. If it's going in a direction, it's slowly going in that direction. And then New York seems to be like the big movers. Yeah, it does seem as though we have a slow upward moving, and then New York opens up and we have big movements. And then going into Tokyo, we have slow movements, or like sideways movement. And then again, the inverse, slowly moving down, and then the bigger movements. So yeah, that is something that I can always have a look at. Interesting. I'll definitely have a look at the indices a little bit more. I know DAX, Barry was the biggest fan of DAX. I mean, if I just look at this, where's that one? We're sideways, we move down strongly, we make an attempt to go higher, we push lower, we make a base, we make another base, continue lower, a little, another base, continue lower, another base, continue lower. So on DAX, it would seem as though just from yesterday's movements that there is a potential for my strategy to work. I think obviously maybe I need to go and have a look at how I would structure my risk management on it. And there's always the possibility that I can do a non-static risk profile. So instead of risking X amount of points always, I can do a little bit more flowing, and then just reduce the risk a little bit more, and then just see what it does and how it moves. So DAX, nice movement up, long retracement, an attempt to go higher, fail, and then a strong movement down, an attempt to move back up, and then consolidation. So it does seem as though it's more larger pullbacks just in London. But then again, it's relative, isn't it? It's the pullback is relative to the move itself. So what if we take a look at this full move as a FIP retracement, and we just see where it goes. Obviously, people refer to the 0.5 to 0.618 as the golden zone. So you would want to see it potentially push back in, which it does just test over there, and then it starts moving lower. So you could always introduce a fib type of strategy. And then obviously the people that talk about fair value gaps, this I think is what is considered a fair value gap, is an unmitigated price move. This is technically within a breakout as well. So there's so many things that you can have a look at, so many confluences that stack, it would seem. So an attempt to move higher, a significant area gets broken, it gets retested, it moves down, it's within a fair value gap, as whatever, an imbalance, as Will would like to refer to it. It is a fib area, so it seems as though there's some nice movements on DAX specifically. This whole move here had the same 0.5 to 0.618 pullback, as you can see there. This was the daily open, so daily open sweep, and then a move higher, and then a failure to create new daily highs, and then a drop down low. So there's a lot of things that I think the indices does a little bit better than the Forex from just this that I'm seeing right now. Because on Forex, if you're moving sideways, you're moving sideways. You're consolidating quite a bit. And then when you have your breaks, like in this case, where it breaks above a specific area, it comes and retests it, you can wait for the confirmation of it failing it retest, and then you can take a trade. Man, I feel like I'm like my thought pattern is like all over the place. I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm over here, I'm over there. It's like it's all over. If you use fibs, the US indices respects the levels the majority of the time. That is interesting to know. So US 30, NAS, and S&P 500. So that is a good line of information to remember for if I'm going to go and start testing the indices as well. Barry, haven't seen him in a while. That's true. Barry is I don't know. He's a specter. He's a ghost. You see him once, he drops some crazy Oscar Trash Panda stuff, and then he just disappears for a while. I don't know. Funny man. Yeah. Let me just take a swig over here. So Euro was the one that had the most deepest move at the moment. Let's have a look at the 5 and see. Yeah. So it seems as though there's a little bit of a reaction off of this area. So I'm just going to remove these two. I know what it is that I'm looking for. There is a bit of a reaction. It's now to see whether or not this reaction is a short-lived reaction, meaning it is short, just going to push up a little bit, try and test the 20 EMA again and start pushing down, or whether or not this is the slowed momentum, the retest back into the area, and then a reaction up. Obviously, we have the US interest rate decision later today. Well, much later today. I think it's in about 11 hours or so, 10 and a half hours. So my expectancy is that we're going to have a very timid market today. This move, even though it looks large, I don't think it was particularly large from London Open. It's 18 pips, which is actually an average movement for London initially. Tokyo itself was 21 pips, which is a little bit more for Tokyo, even though we had very long, drawn-out consolidation. Very, very drawn-out, very long-winded. It's like Tokyo opens up, they put in all of their trades, and then everybody's now done. We'll small little trade here, small little trade there, waiting for London to open. London opens up, it moves down, and then we'll probably see a little bit of consolidation, or maybe an attempt to come and test this area again, and then maybe bounce between the two, or maybe even bounce between this area and this area up until New York opens up, and then New York is going to be a little bit more decisive, let's rather say, and then from there on, waiting for the fund rates, and then we'll see like massive movements from there. I think for the year, this specific fund rate decision is going to be the biggest one. I do think that we might have another one, maybe again before the end of the year, another fund rate cut, but I'm not sure. Well, we don't even know if it's going to actually be a cut. It might even just be a fake out. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to wait for that reaction to see whether or not it's doing anything. Let's have a look at gold. Gold is steadily moving down. I have a 15-minute base, which was the most recent area where we've shown a little bit of bearish involvement. So bullish movement, some bearish involvement, and then another bullish movement, and then some consolidate. This is from 2 days ago. This is from Monday. And then obviously yesterday we had new all-time highs, just wicking just above $3,703, and then massive drop down. I think it dropped all the way $24. It attempted to come up again, so it attempted to test this upper section, and then it failed during Tokyo. Attempted to come up again and is pushing lower. So this is my area of interest. I want to see this area be tested first before I say what I think might happen. Obviously, if the news, if the rate cut on the dollar is as expected, I'm expecting to see the gold push down a little bit and then start rising up again. I don't think that we are necessarily going to see the lows like down here. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. And this is 3633. So that's $30 or so. Actually, we might see that where it pushes all the way down and then you start like really climbing again. But yeah, short term for me, we are bearish at the moment on gold, but the higher time frame, I'm still on the idea of bullish movement. Longer term bullish, because I mean we have this whole area over here where price wicked just below, pushed up. This was a consolidation over a few days and whatnot. Tested into it and then a massive rally up, and now this is going to be that point where we're trying to see if we can fill this imbalance, which is just roughly where this 15-minute base of mine is, and then we'll see it maybe attempt another push up, but that's going to be all dependent on the news, I think. Let's just see if there's anything else on chat. I've not back tested the US 30 though, Rich. Only the US 500 and US Tech, as they correlate well over 90% of the time. Now that's pretty cool to know. I think the risk would be too much for me on US 30. All right, well, let's see if we can find a little strategy that might work on it. If you're saying that US 500 and US Tech correlates quite well, let's see if there's something that correlates well with US 30, and then we can see if we can reduce the risk a little bit by either trading the correlated pair along with the US 30, or just like really reduce your risk on US 30, or maybe have a US 30 as a little bit of a longer term trading idea. MJN is saying, I'm looking at US Tech at the moment. We had the first break and close below the recent uptrend line from the 2nd of this month to the 4-hourly and below. So which one? US Tech? Oh, I don't have US Tech on here. What is US Tech's symbol? So we just say US Tech. Let's see, there's an IC Markets one. Which one do you think I should take here? Any suggestions? Shall we take the IC Market one, the US Tech 100? Is NAS US Tech? No, it can't be. It's not the same, is it? Is NAS 100 the same as US Tech? Because why would it have NAS 100 as US Tech? Okay, well, let's do IC Market one. Hold on a second. Let's do this. Are they just the same? Is NAS just US Tech? I mean, the pricing is so similar. They look exactly the same. Okay, so US Tech is just NAS. That's good to know, because then MGN, you can then trade it with the fivers as an example, because then they have NAS 100. If that's the same as US Tech, then yeah. Pooley is saying US 500. Sorry, US Tech and the US 500 run together. So I'm gonna say keep US Tech there and US 500. Oh yes, yeah, it is quite correlated. Definitely. Well, yeah. There is that many different symbols for the indices across brokers that I get confused. Me too, man. Like, I just think that with the way that I'm seeing it, NAS 100 looks almost exactly like US Tech. Like I said, I don't trade indices, and I haven't like really looked at it all that much. So when it comes to my knowledge, it's a little bit limited on on indices specific. But S&P 500 seems to be a little bit correlated. There's obviously, it's not completely correlated. There is some areas where the price itself has a deeper dip on US 500, on S&P 500 than it has on, for argument's sake, US Tech. But yeah, US Tech, it seems as though is just NAS 100. Yeah. All right, so MGN, there you know. You want to trade US Tech, you can trade NAS then. It's the same. How crazy is that? Consider me interested now. On my futures account, the symbol is MESZ5. Work that one out. So let's see. MESZ5. So MES. MES on this is just Morningstar Energy Sector Capped PRUSD. MESGP, MES10. This is 10-year yield. Yeah, like it's weird the way that. Okay, but you said futures, right? So let's have a look at futures. Yeah, MES is the futures E-mini. Should probably have gone and checked that, you know, to like actually change the symbol section. So on indices, there's no MES to be found. So futures, there's the E-mini Nasdaq is MNQ. That's the one that Richie used to trade, right? Did a quick Google. Nasdaq 100 is the official name, and US Tech is its nickname because it is tech heavy. Well, there you know now. Now you were complaining about the fact that the Fivers doesn't have US Tech. Now we know. What an interesting turn of events. Micro E-mini S&P 500 took me a while to find the chart. Yeah. But Pooley, I'm definitely going to take you up on this idea of having a look at the indices and whether or not my specific way of looking at the market does correlate along with the indices. If it does, then it is just one more weapon in my arsenal that I can attempt to find some profitability on. It looks good though. Okay, well, this is E-mini. Obviously, I don't care about the E-minis because I'm not trading futures, but S&P 500. I think it's Anastasia from the Fivers that she looks at the futures section of indices, and then she'll trade the CFD version of it at the same time. So she'll use the futures market as a means to trade the CFD one, which I also think is quite interesting. But she's also more of a volume trader, so she likes trading the volume areas. So she'll, for argument's sake, take the day open. Well, maybe yeah, it's up to there. And then she'll mark out areas for herself, saying this is an area of interest. I want to see it react or break off of it, and see if there is developing areas of interest, which is like over here. There's a developing area, and then she'll want to, for argument's sake, see do a buy from here to there, that kind of like thing. But her futures charts infers her CFD charts. So uses the future chart and then trades the CFD chart. But yeah, that's definitely something to take into consideration, because right now the DXY is moving. It is at an area where it yesterday had quite a strong downward move out of. So it would be interesting to see how it reacts in this area. The NAS on the 15, this area over here had the biggest move associated with it. On the 15, dropped down, attempted to come back, dropped a little bit, and is now gaining some momentum going up. So we can possibly come and test this. I don't know what is like considered a normal sized move. I'll have to go and test that, but I don't know, something like that might be interesting. S&P 500, same idea. We had this massive drop off from this point up over here. We've tried to get there. It does seem as though it might be a little bit bearish, even though we haven't created new lows. We have a low over here, which is yet to be tested, at least. So I'm definitely going to start having a look at the indices as a potential trading opportunity. Okay, so let's just change this one to Euro as well. Euro's made a drop 15-minute base, and if this candle closes as a 15-minute base or a 15-minute drop again, then we could potentially see price start moving lower again, and with an attempt to break lower than the box, and then maybe start going down again. It is 3 candles during the 5-minute, which is slightly more than what I would like to see on the 5-minute as a base. Ideally, I would like to see 2 candles on the 5 maximum, and then at least 1 bearish candle, so that on the 15-minute you have a small base candle, and then you want to see continuation on the 5-minute. So this is one too many, but this is what the confirmation would be this 1 candle on the 5. But we are at an area, a significant area. Obviously, the previous day 15-minute base is a significant area. So I want to see a reaction off of it. What would be nice, hypothetically, would be you have 1, 2, 3 base candles, but it can turn into a rally if these 2 candles over here are the only bearish candles and this new candle closes as a bullish candle. Then it could be an identifier of a new potential upward move. But that is one of those things where I react to the market, not always right, but to predict what the market's going to do has never really helped me. It hasn't really helped me to try and predict what the market's going to do. See, now we've closed as a bullish candle, but it's got a bit of a wick below, but the 15-minute is still bearish. So I'm still agreeing to the idea of us pushing lower on EU. Obviously, this base needs to be broken first. On GU, let's just do this. GU touched the 20 minute or the 20 EMA, closed bearish. We do have a few bullish candles that came in. We had a double bullish base. 4 minutes, and it does seem as though this 15-minute candle doesn't really want to go lower, so there is a potential for this to push a little bit higher first, attempt to come lower, or it's going to push a little bit higher and then start dropping down. So once again, just patience, wait for the market to show what it wants to do. Gold is still bearish, very nice. I've recently started like adding the 50 EMA as well to kind of like support the strength of the downward movement visually, because I'm a visual person, so I want to see I can work out the momentum myself, but if I have a visual aid, it's a process that is quick and I don't need to like really focus on it. Pulley saying, I'm looking to go long depending on the close of this US 500 15-minute candle. Note that the US tech is making a daily high in correlation. So let's go S&P 500. I'm just going to do that. 15-minute on this one. We will turn this one to NAS 100. Let's see. So, okay, let me just delete that one. All right, so the 15-minute candle at the moment on the S&P is a little bit bearish, and the NAS is, as you said, at the daily high. So note that US Tech is making a daily high in correlation. So you're saying you're looking on depending to go long. So your assumption is that the daily high is not going to be respected, and we're going to start pushing higher on US Tech, and then inverse, or at the same time, you will see the S&P 500 push up as well. Pooley, is it also because of the fact that it is running slightly above the EMAs? Or what do you usually use as confluences for you to confirm your entry? Because the thing is that if you're a trend trader, obviously you're going to want to trade along with the trend. So you're going to want to see a bullish trend formulate, and then you're going to just trade along with it. But what do you use as your confirmation of entry? So here we have a little bit of a bullish movement. It pushes a little bit, makes a base, pushes up higher. We are close to the daily open, and this slight little bit of consolidation on the daily open, and then we had a break lower. 6600 level held as an added indication, 660. So down here. Okay, so you're saying you have multiple, well, at least one touch on this one, and yeah, you've actually had more than one touch on this area. I'm going to go onto the hourly on this one and see whether or not... Wait, let me just remove this. You literally just touched that line there. The previous day New York high. Not previous day, previous day. The Friday's highs. You broke out of Friday's highs on Monday, and you came back to test Friday's highs, reacted off of it, and you attempted to test it yet again. So that could also be one of the reasons why you're looking for a... oh, you actually gave the reason. Purely fibs from the LDN, which is the London low, to now The pullback level is the 236. So from London Open, but that would be on the 15-minute, obviously. So from London, oh, that's the wrong one. This one, from London low to where it is now. So you say the 236. Okay, I don't have the 236 up, but I'm assuming this would be the 236. Yeah, I can always just go and add. Don't have the 236, but let's add 236. Let's turn this to orange, and then a negative 2.36. Oh, 0.236. What the hell am I doing? That's 0.236. Yes, there we go. Not 2.36, 0.236. So yeah, that's true. I'm long. This is not trade advice. No, obviously, it's not trade advice, but it is something that people can look at and potentially start formulating a strategy around. I like trading the trend itself. So if this proves to be the continuation of a trend, then, or the establishment of a trend and then the continuation of the trend, then I would do that definitely. And then your stops is at the low, the daily low. So down here, the one. Let's make it one flat. So I'm not entirely sure where you entered in. And then what would be your target point for your take profit? So obviously, if you were to go 1-to-1, then it would be up over here. Obviously, I don't know where your entry point is exactly, but what is it that you're looking for? Potentially the New York high of yesterday as a potential area? Not sure. Or are you doing the fib? So from here to there, and you're just testing, let's say for argument's sake, there. But then would it not be prudent to put your stop? Anyway, it's not advice. You do you, man. You have your trading style and you have your reasonings for it. So you do whatever it is that makes sense to you. All right, guys. So we've come to the end of the hour. Now, I asked a question yesterday about the potential to expand the length of the stream, and then also the potential for us to start either at 8 UK time, or like let's say 8:30 UK time, or 9 UK time, or whatever. I was thinking that I want to extend the time at least by half an hour, because if you're just going to have 1 hour, it's, you're going to spend a bit of time to talk to chat, you're going to spend a bit of time to analyze, and then it's over. So I want to extend the time by half an hour, but I also want to know whether or not we should start a little bit later. So London Open, obviously I don't trade the Open itself, but just after the Open, there's usually a bit of movement that I can then use to formulate a trade and then enter a trade. So give me your let's do this. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I am going to go live same time, 8 o'clock UK time, but I'm going to extend the hour by half an hour. So it will then be an hour and a half long stream. And then the week after that, or in that week, we can then see whether or not it runs a little bit better. And then we can then decide whether or not we need to do a later start, or if the 1.5 hour from London Open is sufficient. So yeah, guys, give that a little bit of a thinky think, and then let me know. Puli saying TP's levels are at the 50-minute RST. Worst case, then looking for 15-minute closes around the FIP exit levels 1.272 and 1.16. Okay, so you're using the FIB levels definitely as your 50, the candle closes on the 15-minute, and then the FIB levels as your TP points. That sounds good. That sounds great, Rich. We can have half an hour each of Rich, Hans, and then Gunther. Yeah, we can potentially have that. I think Will is going to be back along with me as of next week Monday, but that is still to be confirmed. But yeah, maybe you can see Hans or maybe even Gunther. I don't know. I might even do a I don't know, like a drunk day. Do a drunk stream. I probably wouldn't, because that would be very unprofessional. But yeah. All right, guys. Thank you once again for joining me. I know it was a little bit of a strange morning. I don't think I gave all that much value in terms of what I was seeing, but I think with time the stream is going to be coming. It will become a lot more interactive, a lot more professional, and a lot more fun. But yeah, once again, thank you to everybody that pitched up today. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked the content, if you enjoyed what you saw, even though you didn't enjoy the outcome of it. But if you liked it, press a like, give us a subscribe, give us a share, and then I will see you guys next week. Cheers. Have a great week, and then have a good weekend for everybody else. And then don't forget, we have high impact news later today. So please be cognizant of that and trade safely. Cheers, guys.